Where's Michael?
He's here. You might have a deadline right now. 22 seconds. Sometimes they got to get the story in.
I got you. Oh, there he is.
There it is.
Just making sure you made it.
I appreciate that. We'll go with an opening statement and questions for Coach.
Yeah, really proud. Really proud of our team. Really proud of our effort. I thought we played much better complementary today. Really good football game. Coach Keeler did a nice job. They got a really good quarterback. He's a senior. I thought he played well. Really proud of our quarterback. Baylor's a really good football player. I think it showed up today. He gave us a chance. Came down to one play. We had it set up with the tight end pop pass, and he's open, and we missed it. And it's not Brody's fault. He's crying in the locker room like a baby. We had it set up. We ran the power play 3 times in the game. We knew critical moment we were going to come back to the pop pass, and just happened to start raining and slipped out of his hand to end the game there. So really proud of the team, like really proud. I just told them that's a really good college football game. Came down to one play. And all these games in the future are going to go our way. I hope it's next week. I really do think we can finish strong, and we're playing well right now in a lot of phases. And thought we gave ourselves an absolute chance to win. I feel like we won just everywhere up at the scoreboard. The last play was the right call. I wouldn't change it for anything. It was exactly what we wanted. We had it set up, and just didn't make the play. Questions?
So why did you feel it was best to go with a specialty formation on the 2-point play as opposed to just letting Baylor Hayes have it?
Yeah, we had talked on the headsets. We had that play set up in our back pocket, the pop pass, the tight end pop pass to Julian in the back of the end zone. Had it set up with 3 plays of running the power play with Brody, and we knew if we got to a critical moment, we talked about it, if we get a 2-point play to win the game, we're going with that one. We worked on it in practice for 2 or 3 weeks. It's been installed. Have no question it was the right call.
Did you have any thought of kicking it at that point?
I did, but we weren't getting stops defensively, and I felt like we needed to go win the game right there. We're 2-5. Let's go set the standard of how we want to play Tulsa football, be aggressive, and go take it from people and not play catch up.
How long have you been working on all of the Foley specialty stuff?
Yeah, we put it in an off week. And then he had a great game last week and felt like he's our best playmaker right now. You mean critical moments, we're going to put in 80's hands. You got a freshman quarterback. He made some unbelievable plays tonight. He was a really bright spot for us, and he's our best football player right now offensively, him and Dominique Richardson, and those are the guys who are getting the most touches. And I was very proud of the way he played.
You mentioned earlier this year that you somewhat compare Baylor Hayes to Baker Mayfield. He looked like Baker Mayfield today with the scrambling, keeping plays alive, not scrambling to run so much, but scrambling to find people down the field. Kind of what did you see from him kind of as a progression from especially last week where he had probably one of his worst starts of the year?
Really proud of him, man. He's got courage. He doesn't lack confidence ever, and that's one thing I appreciate in a quarterback. He's really competitive. I never feel like the game's over when he's got the ball. Like, I never feel like the play's over or the game's over. The best thing he does is extend plays. They got a really good pass rusher. We were a little bit nervous to drop back pass, but we dropped back pass more tonight than any game this year because I felt like even if he gets in trouble, he's going to run around and make a play. The receivers did a great job on the scramble drill. We did have a couple drops, but both by tight ends. Early in the game, Julian dropped one, and then Brody dropped a touchdown there. It would have been a difficult catch, but it was a great scramble drill. That's really who we are right now. Baylor's got to keep us in it, and he did. 36 yards of offense, 75 plays. He was 19 of 31, 300 yards passing. Definitely his best day, and I was proud of him.
The defense was a mixed bag today.
Yeah.
Some good stops, especially in the fourth quarter and then on the goal line. But then, again, 3 more big plays, I guess 6 for the last 2 weeks. Kind of what is that balance, and what are you looking for to try to get out of that from him?
we're feast or famine right now. We either hold them 3 and out or they go score a touchdown, and we're giving up way too many big plays. Elijah Green did not have his best day. He got beat several times. We get bad eyes at safety a couple times, and they hit us on a stick nod with their big tight end, who's a really good player. So we got a lot to evaluate on that side of the ball. We got to be more consistent there. It certainly feels like we're either stoning them and they're not getting anything, or it's going to score. Now, I did like the goal line stop, and I'd like to see the replay on that 4th and inches deal right there. And if we get the ball right there, surely we're going to go kick a field goal. But, yeah, they're doing some good things. They got to play better. We certainly got to look at some stuff there.
You are optimistic, and you're showing that now. Is that optimism still there in the locker room? I mean, now you've lost 4 straight games. This is probably the toughest one of that group, because this is one of the best chance you've had to win in that space. How do you keep that momentum going for 4 more games?
Yeah, certainly been here before. We got to learn how to win. I think that's there's a little bit of doubt in the back of our heads right now when things get tight. And we got to get better. We got to keep developing younger players. We got to keep getting better, keep recruiting. But that locker room absolutely believes. That's about as proud as I've been of them after a game. And they're hurting right now, but I promise you they're going to show back up to work. That's who they are. That's what we've built it as. We knew it's going to be a good one. And Justin tells me all the time, there's going to be a lot of these, early on in your career. Like here, there's going to be a lot of close games. And if we can get a couple to go our way, I think our guys flip the switch. Like sometimes it's one moment, right? It's one moment. Like could have been today. Like we throw the touchdown right there, and we celebrate, and we win 38-37. All of a sudden the tides turn. But that moment's coming. I have no question about it. We're doing everything right. Everything in the program is exactly how we want it. The results are going to come, and there's going to be 4 more dogfights the rest of the year. I promise you that. There's going to be 4 more one-score games, and we got to get a few of those to turn. To carry momentum into the offseason and potentially a bowl game.
You mentioned how Brody's handling this. What do you tell a guy who played the game of his life, 3 touchdowns, but might only remember that last play?
Yeah, I mean, that's sports, right? That's what adversity – that's why we play it. If I knew what the score was going to be every week, I wouldn't coach. We do it because you get the butterflies, you get the anxiety, you feel the moments of struggle and the moments of adversity, and how is he going to respond to that? How are we going to respond as a team and as a program to get over the hump? He's hurting right now. He'll be fine. He's one of the strongest leaders we got. There's nobody that hurts worse than him, and he's going to be just fine. But it's adversity, right? It's a struggle. It's where we're at. He's going to be just fine, and he'll handle it the right way.
And what are you going to do during the bye week? It's obviously 6 losses. You can't lose another one to make the bowl.
Yeah.
It's been a goal all year.
Yeah, certainly playoff football from here on out. I'll talk to him today about this being a playoff football game, and that's the kind of game you want to be in, man. That's the kind of game you want to coach in. 38-37, coming down to a 2-point play. That's why we got into this. And the competitor in you wants to be in those. The players like to be in those. There's no question we're going to get back to work. We'll take Sunday off. We'll be back in the office Monday morning, 8 a.m. Recruiting. We sent some coaches on the road this week to watch some junior college players and do what we can to keep building this roster and keep building this culture. We got to keep retaining and developing our young players because I think we got a lot of good ones. A lot of good ones that probably don't need to be playing right now that are, and that's going to really help us in the future, no question. But, yes, it'll be a conversation about playoff football from here on out.
Was the 2-point pass a play you had repped a bunch, like all along, or something you kind of just came up with this week?
No, we drew it up on the sideline, right? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we've repped it probably every Thursday in practice for the last 3 weeks. We've had that package in with Brody, and we've repped it a lot. We've repped against our defense in live reps because we do a 2-point. We do an overtime period on Wednesdays where we do like red zone lockout where we go play competitive red zone period, and it's like an overtime. So you got to go for 2, and it's worked against our defense like 3 times. So I had a lot of confidence in it.
So since you got a little extra time to talk and teach and whatever, so the 2021 Tulsa team loses in a game about like this at Cincinnati, right? And they are at 6 losses at that point, and then 1 out. And I just wondered if maybe you might learn a little more about that team and maybe share some of that with you guys.
For sure. I think you can always build on history. I think anytime we can bring up the history of this program is certainly something we use as motivation. And I've showed the guys this summer the Notre Dame game. We watched the Notre Dame game. and I showed them Friday 60 plays of us executing at a really high level on both sides of the ball, like just to make sure we had confidence going into today. And I have no doubt this team's going to respond. I have no doubt the staff's going to respond. We'll continue to get better. We're going to be in 4 dog fights. We got to find a way to make one more play. We didn't make that play tonight. I thought it was the right decision, right call. Didn't make it.
Baylor Hayes did like half a dozen of these plays today where his eyes are downfield and his legs are extending the plays, and he just seems to have gotten so much better at, well, like extending plays and running away from trouble, and yet like the little sideline throw, I thought he was throwing it out of bounds, right? And he finds a guy on the edge, and but his playmaking ability and poise today versus a month ago.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Like we looked for in recruiting when I signed him. First of all, I think it's a tribute to how our coaches coach, like Brad and myself. Like we don't coach quarterbacks to play in fear. Like, hey, take care of the ball all the time. Like you got to go play the position aggressive. So a lot of credit goes to Brad. But when I saw him in recruiting, like he was making a lot of those plays, and he's not that big. You know, he's 6'1", 180, 6 foot 180, so he has to be that. I think in today's college football, there's nobody that's just exceptional up front. The O-lines are not, because of the transfer portal, the O-line play across the country has decreased. So you got to have a guy. And when we're recruiting this offseason in the portal or in high school, we got to have a guy that can extend plays and make plays with his legs. And that's something we look for in recruiting, and he's given us a fighting chance. He's also a freshman. I mean, I think it was, his 5th, 6th career start of his life. So, I mean, he should be getting better.
Josh Smith had 112 yards on 4 receptions today, so big plays, especially on that second to last touchdown when that came down, I think, to the 2-yard line that he got that snag.
Yeah.
I mean, had a big day for him.
I'm so excited for that young man. I'm so excited for his future here. We had high hopes for him in the offseason. I thought he'd be our starting X receiver. You know, had a couple drops in camp, didn't necessarily have his best couple games, kind of, you know, faced some adversity in his personal life, and then he's bounced back these last couple weeks, and, man, he has been really good in practice. And Josh is a freshman as well. And I showed him last week that receiver from East Carolina as a junior was a high school signee, 6'4", 220. He's one of the best receivers in the league. And I was like, Josh, this is who you are, man. This is what you got to be for us in the future. I'm really looking forward to watching Josh these last 4 games, and he earned the right to play tonight. And I think he's got a great future. That connection right there, 10 to 15, is something that I want Tulsa fans to see for years.
Any other young players you think you can think of today step up for him?
Will Upshaw played a ton at defensive end. Byron Turner got hurt during the game, didn't play after the first quarter. Will Upshaw is another freshman, played a lot. Up front, let's see. Linebacker Will Alexander is a young player that's playing a lot. Josh England's a sophomore, playing a lot. Zach Williams is still a sophomore, playing a lot in the back end. Yeah, I think we got some guys. Oh, Ian Mays played like 46 snaps as a true freshman at guard. He was the best guard out there tonight. So really looking forward to playing him these last 4 games, and he was awesome. Brody Duffel's a sophomore. Started tonight, played every snap. Yeah, we got some good young players. We got to make sure we retain them and develop them and make sure they keep believing in the right things. All right, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
I guess kind of take us through the 4th down play in overtime and kind of what was set up and what you saw and why it worked.
Sorry. Okay. Talking about the throw to Brody Foley. Yeah. Okay. So we had that play called originally to go to Booker coming across the formation. You know, that's one that's been really, really crucial to us. You know, it's a pure progression into the boundary. It's been really good to us, but we want to do it from a different formation. You know, have a bigger target if he takes it. And you know, that's a guy I can just always trust in. You know, he's playing his absolute ass off right now. I mean, he's got 9 targets, 6 catches, 41 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You know, 1 on the ground, 1 through the was it 1 on the ground and 1 through the air, correct? I believe, yeah. So, you know, put the ball in our best playmaker's hands, you know, at that moment in time, and he stepped up.
From your perspective, what did the 2-point conversion look like?
Yeah, so we had ran that play multiple times. You know, Brody scored on it earlier in the game. We'd had that kind of in our play system all week. You know, we set it up. I think we ran it 4 times total in the game. Trying to count the times I lined up at receiver. Yeah, we probably ran it 4 times, and we had it set up. You know, the tight end was going to leak out and throw it. You know, and Brody Foley, I mean, that's a hard position to be in. You know, tight end, you're not really throwing the ball much. I thought it was a great call, though. From my angle, like it was there. You know, we were just that close.
Do you, I mean, as a competitor, do you wish that you're the guy that's in that spot?
I mean, yeah, but at the end of the day, my coaches are incredible. Like, there's a reason they're coaching at this level, doing what they do, and I have full and complete trust in them. You know, I thought the call was great, in my opinion.
This was a game for you today where it kind of seemed like you grew up some and did a lot of things with your legs that weren't going down the field but were keeping plays alive to make big plays with your arm. What did you see out there maybe that was different today than what maybe you'd seen in a few games past?
I think that's just steady growth, but I feel like I'm nowhere near where I can be. You know, I was at 61% completion. I need to be upwards for 70, 71. I feel like I can be there. I'm not completely there where I want to be yet, but, you know, slowly getting more comfortable. I thought statistically it's probably my best game I played yet. I felt really comfortable with my legs, like you said, but I don't think this is not where I want to be. I think I can steadily get better and better and better as we go.
Josh, you had some moments last year, and so not so much early on this season. What was different today for you?
Just the level of focus that I had in my preparation throughout the week. We was challenged by Coach Lim and the team meeting to get that confidence up, get that swag up. So I changed my whole routine, watched more film, doubled up treatment, doubled up hydration, doubled up therapy, getting my mental right and everything else. So just my preparation, preparing for this game alone, making sure I'm good on the install and the plays really gave me the advantage to play with this much confidence today.
Was there a point, I guess, what point in time did you maybe have a thought that you were going to have a bigger role than maybe you've had in some past games?
Just my preparation for the week. My practice had a really good practice. I made all the plays that came to me during the week, so it was no doubt in my mind by the time we got to here and I got in the game and the ball was coming to me, I had no doubt in my mind I was not going to catch it.
There's been some, I guess, spots in the year where receiver, you know, in the fall camp it was seen as a position of strength. It's maybe seen less as one now as things have gone forward. What does it take for you guys in that room to turn it back into a position of true strength for this team?
Honestly, for us it's always been the moment of truth. So what Coach Robbins always says, if it's a moment of truth thing, how are you living? What are you doing behind closed doors? It's a moment of truth thing for the receiver room. And we've gotten better at that. Like this week, we've all made the moment of truth plays. So it's just getting better at making the moment of true plays. When your time comes, just make the plays.
So this is a tough game, lose on 2-point conversion, 4th straight loss. How is the general thought in the locker room, and how do you kind of keep it so that the rest of the year becomes more like what you want it to be?
Yeah, I mean, you would probably think when you walked into a locker room after that, you would think that everybody's absolutely losing their mind. And don't get me wrong, by any means, we are not satisfied with that result by any means. Like, this team wants to win so bad. But we understand that this is a process. This is a new staff. Our future is so bright, and we all know that. There's a bunch of us that are younger that are making plays, you know. Let's see, like, obviously, Josh right here, 112 yards receiving, redshirt freshman. You know, Brody Foley still has a year left. This guy's out there making plays. We're nowhere that close, like super close. And we know that this is a process, and we believe in Coach Lamb, and nobody has a doubt in our mind that we can go win these next 4.
So, what is, like, eventually, because you've done it now, Ray Coney gets to stop on 4th down, and you drive a literally perfect 2-minute drive, right, to go score before the half. What is the value of having that experience? Because you may need to pull that off to win a game at some point.
You know, I talked about that, Mr. Poppin on the radio in there. we hadn't really done that yet. We hadn't had a 2-minute situation where we needed. That was a crucial moment in the game, but we went 99 yards and made it happen. I think that gives us confidence because in these next 4 games, these are not easy games by any means. They're conference games. To really get where we want to be, which is a bowl game, we got to be able to do stuff like that.
You mentioned a couple times being that close, 2-point conversion from a win. Does that make this one hurt a little bit more than the rest of them?
Absolutely. We know that was close, but we knew we had a great play call. Just unfortunately didn't go our way. Soon it will. We know that. Soon some of the calls will go our way. The ball will maybe drop to us our way. We just are really optimistic in that sense that we are so close. So close. And I think you could have seen that just by watching from the stands. The energy on the sidelines there. We are so bought in, and we're very, very close.
What kind of confidence do you take from getting down early and being able to take the lead before halftime?
Yeah, I think in games prior, when it hasn't gone our way, I feel like we've kind of shy. Even when we were down 7 points, we kind of shied away. And we're there's a weird vibe on our sideline. And, that was something we talked about in our leadership group this past week is when things don't go our way, how can we grow? How can we have energy? I don't know if you saw all the guys with the towels, with the energy. That just brought some different type of juice,
And, Josh, for you, obviously it takes a lot of patience to do what you did, and now you come here second to last weekend of October and have a big game. How much did patience and preparation play into what you're able to do?
It played a huge part. My dad and my mom always preached to me, you never know when your time going to come. We know who you can be. Just be ready, practice hard, grind hard, like they always told me. And what always helped me was going back and looking at my high school highlights and just seeing all the plays and opportunities they gave me. So coming into this game, I prepared well. I watched that. I was feeling good.
Anything else for the players?
I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate
Thank
y'all,
you.
man.